Well, good morning. What a fine-looking group. We expect to have y'all all in court every week, okay? All right, Washington County Commissioners Court is now in session Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 at 9 a.m. And Commissioner Majewski, would you do the honors, please?
Yes, we'll have Bishop Larry Lazar from the Greater Macedonia Baptist Church lead us in the invocation, then we'll do the pledges.
Our Father which art in heaven, Lord, as we come with our heads bowed down but our hearts lifted to thee. First of all, God, we come to say thank you. Thank you for this day that you have made, and we must rejoice in it. God, we come praying today for our nation. We come praying for our country. We come praying for this commissioner's court. We come praying for all that in attendance today, our first responders, and all those that are receiving awards today, that you will continue to bless them, give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and how to do the things that you have called all us to do, that you may get the glory. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, presentation of recognition to the public safety departments for their bravery and dedicated service during and after the attack on the DPS facility on April 12, 2024. At approximately 10:55 a.m. on April 12, 2024, Washington County received a 911 call regarding a pursuit that ended in a collision into the DPS facility on Highway 290. On behalf of all the citizens of Washington County, the Washington County Commissioners Court today says thank you to all of the first responders that responded and did their absolute level best at this incident. We thank y'all so much. At this time, we'll your people, your folks that are here from your department who are here, introduce them, and then if there are photos to be taken, we'll go to the screen over here to take photos, okay? Not that you can't take photos in between time, but you can definitely get photos over there of your group. So without further ado, first on our list this morning is the Washington County Sheriff's Office. In recognition of your exceptional bravery and dedicated service during the life-saving operations conducted on April 12, 2024, in response to the attack on the DPS facility in Brenham, Texas. Your heroic efforts and unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of others are commendable and deeply appreciated. Thank you for your extraordinary service. Presented by the Washington County Commissioners Judge and Commissioners Court this 4th day of June 2024. And Chief, I think you're accepted. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. It's good to see everybody in the good group instead of the bad group, right? Something going on. So, on behalf of Sheriff Honig, feeling a little under the weather, and I've been able to speak a little bit today. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce if all the ones from the Sheriff's Office will please stand up, and I'll introduce those. Chief Hensley from Corrections, Lieutenant David Blakey for Patrol, our criminal investigator and fire investigator Mike McAnally. Where's Bossy? Hiding off in the corner, Sergeant Bossy. If I missed anybody, and Hollywood, I'm sorry, Louis Pizarro, he's Hollywood. So what we do first and foremost from the sheriff's office, we want to extend our deepest sympathy to the families that passed away in this terrible attack. And let's get one thing straight. This is not an incident. It was an attempted mass murder, my opinion only, against the public safety agency of our state, the Department of Public Safety, these guys over here, who are our friends, neighbors, and that I've known throughout my 48-year career. It was an attack on them, an attack on law enforcement. In this attack, several of our citizens passed away. And so we extend our deepest sympathy to those families who are suffering through that. And to all the injured, from the employees that were injured, from the citizens who were there just getting their driver's license renewed or taking care of that, I want them to know from the sheriff's office, and I'm sure all public safety and everybody, emergency services, the family, we go out to the families for that and pray for them every day. So with that, thank y'all. On behalf of the sheriff's office and these guys, I can't say enough. I've always said in my career, as long as I've been here, that when something bad happens, it will rain down police. We may argue, we may fight a little bit, maybe we'll argue about all that, but when it comes down to safety and the citizens, it's going to rain down the police. EMS, fire, everybody's there. These guys all work for one and one thing only, and that's to help each and every person. We hear it a lot, we hear the deals, but that's the main thing is to say, you watch people run in there, you watch the videos, you watch what these officers did, and you're going, that's pretty darn good. What they did, they came, they took over, they went inside a building. We didn't know if it's going to crumble or not or cave in. You never know. An 18-wheeler went through a building, an intentional act to kill people. I don't care how you put it. So with that said, I want to, from the sheriff's office, Sheriff Honig, and to all the public safety, thank y'all very much. We enjoy working together. We always have our little tiffs and fights, but it's all for one good cause, and that's citizens. Thank y'all very much, Judge, Commissioners, and everybody here today. Thank you.
Okay, now the Brenham Police Department. The mayor said that he wanted to say a few words about this. So, Mayor, would you come and get the award, please? Sure. There you are. Go to the podium and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Can everybody from the PD please stand? So we'll start from this way. We have Detective Officer Grayson Marburger, Lieutenant Kelvin Raven, Detective Caskey, Sergeant Randall, Detective Anderson, Lieutenant Schoen, Corporal Sines. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. Charge it to my head, not my heart. What I'd like to say first and foremost is what happened in April was horrible, but the response was a direct reflection of the citizens of Brenham and Washington County. And when I say the response, I don't mean just police department. I mean everybody in public safety, from dispatch to fire to EMS to every law enforcement agency. And not only that, but to the citizens of this county. And I've always said, during any tragedy, if you want to know what Texas is about, look at Brenham, look at Washington County. We had so many people come out to help us, so many people volunteer to feed us, so many people to bring us water and everything else. It's appreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed. It's why we do what we do. It's why you see all these men and women in this room right here. It's definitely not for a paycheck. It's because this is truly a unique place. It's a unique place to live and work. And like Chief Petrash said, we don't just work together with family. You attack one of us, you attack all of us. That's what law enforcement is. So when you attack our brothers and the workers in DPS, you've directly attacked us. We don't take that lightly. I've always said in a county, we're not a major county like Harris County. There's too few of us to really fight each other. So when something happens, it doesn't matter what color your uniform is. Everybody shows up and everybody takes care of each other. I can't be more proud. I can't be more proud of everybody in this room. Not only were these victims of this horrible event citizens of our city and our county, they were family members of our officers. So that means they were family members of us. We continue to pray. Evil doesn't prevail as long as there are good people to do the right thing. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you.
I'm going to be real brief because you got a lot of people to recognize here, but this is what makes this community great, when we can get together. And we just had, Ms. Miller, we had our 5-year workshop, and the 2 priorities on this workshop were safety, police and fire. And that's what it's all about. That's why we live here. That's why it's the greatest place. And so I want to thank the Sheriff, Honig, Chief Powell, Kevin DeRamus, the fire department, our new new fire chief, that I'm going to let Ms. Miller introduce here shortly, but Chief Cooper. The response that day was remarkable. You said 2 months ago, and it seems like it was a week ago, but because it's still so fresh on our mind. But thank you to everyone here. The job you did that day was unbelievable, and so very proud of you. So thank you, thank you.
Okay, next on our list this morning is the Washington County EMS Director DeRamus. I'm not going to read each one of these. I'm going to read one more so that everybody will know that they are the same, okay? In recognition of your exceptional bravery and dedicated service during the life-saving operations conducted on April 12, 2024, in response to the attack on the DPS facility in Brenham, Texas. Your heroic efforts and unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of others are commendable and deeply appreciated. Thank you for your extraordinary service presented by Washington County Judge and Commissioners Court this 4th day of June, 2024.
Yeah, so it's the Petrash said it great. It's the best part and the worst part about working in a small town. You respond to your families, you respond to the people you know. The best part is you're responding with your family and the people you know. I'd like District Chief Tanner Jacob to come up for just a second. I'm just going to throw a curveball at him. I've said enough. Tanner was kind of the spearhead of the day for us in our department. There's always kind of a medical incident commander that really sets the triage up and helps us guide the rest of it. So I'd like for him just to introduce the guys that were responding that day. So thank you.
So we'll start on the left there. That's Carl Bowman. He's our SRT. We've got Lauren Coonrod next to us. She's an EMT basic. She's a part-time employee with us. Works quite a bit and was helping us that day. Next, we've got Dylan Parker. He's a paramedic with us. What you don't know about Dylan is that day he probably had about 4 or 5 months experience as a paramedic, so put in pretty quick. Our next one's Trenton Rawling. Trenton's longtime Burton resident, and he was one of the EMT basics on an ambulance there. We had a few that couldn't make it today that were on the ambulance side. We had everybody, it was all hands on deck. So Justin Knuppel, he's one of our operations chiefs, and then Amy Klusman, she's our compliance chief, and everybody was all hands on deck that day. So it was normal day for us that was going along just like a regular one. And then this happened, and I couldn't be more proud of the team that we had that day, the support we've had from every entity. It's been said over and over about the community support. You don't typically see this every day, but we're lucky to be surrounded by great leaders that put us there in the right time to do the best we could. So thank you. Thanks.
Okay, next is the Brenham Fire Department. Carolyn Miller, City Manager.
Chief Cooper and Chief Donovan, would you please come up? As the mayor said, we have a new fire chief that started yesterday. Our interim fire chief, Ray Cooper, this is the second time he served in an interim capacity, and we are very appreciative of his leadership, certainly on that day. I know you showed up at the scene fairly early. I'll let you talk about that in a minute. And Chief has provided leadership and guidance and stability for our fire department during the search for a new fire chief. We have Shift C with us today. We'll introduce them in a moment. And then our new fire chief, Mark Donovan, is coming to us. He's a retired from the Houston Fire Department after over 29 years. And he also worked, is that us? Is us? Okay. And so he's coming to us, and hopefully we'll have a long tenure here. There goes Shift C. Okay. Thank you. So I'll let Chief Cooper speak, and then maybe Chief Donovan will have a few words.
Okay, that was J.C. Knipstein, Caleb Kelly, and Derek Conjura were the three of those four that were out there that day. And then Justin Schrader was our lieutenant that was on duty when we responded out there. I've been doing this type of work for 45 years. And when you have critical emergencies like this, you get images in your mind and that never go away. They're always there. And I will tell you, I have images in my mind of that day that I will never forget, and good images of this community and what this community, this fire department, and these emergency services mean to me, and that I will carry with me for years to come. And I'm appreciative of that, and I'm appreciative of the commitment that our guys have to go to calls like that, and the confidence that we have that law enforcement was taking care of their job. And EMS was doing their job. We were doing our job so that when we went in there, we knew we didn't have to worry about somebody else shooting at us or driving a truck back into the building, because they had taken care of that. And it does. Jay talked about this community, and it speaks highly of this community, of the commitment of the public servants that you have here. And I will never forget that, and I appreciate the opportunity that I've had to be a part of that. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to reiterate what everyone said is, number one, I'm proud to be a part of this organization. I'm proud to be a part of this community. And what you saw that day was a collaborative effort on the part of so many public safety agencies working as one for the betterment of our community. So my hat's off to everyone that responded that day. Thank you very much. And like I said, I'm glad to be here.
Okay, the next is the Texas Department of Public Safety, Sergeant Dominguez.
Well, I wasn't prepared to give a speech. I didn't know this part was coming. But I can't say it any better than the last few speakers have rounded up, summed it up. It was a day we'll never forget. Obviously, the city, the county will never forget. It's something that impacted us greatly. A few of the troopers that are here today were actually in the building when it happened or a part of it directly. It's something they'll never forget. I have the privilege to be a sergeant over 2 counties, and the common theme is they're both small rural counties. And our relationship with the other agencies, city, state, local, TDM, emergency management and fire, when bad things happen, we all come together. Despite differences, like Chief said, you put those aside and you go to work. And that day, that happened. That day, we put our differences aside. We made everybody safe. There were some injuries and loss of life, and our prayers go out to those families. The DL ladies that are not here today have reached out to me over and over about the level of the response that day, even after the fact, the support that they've had from the community and local leaders. So thank you, on their behalf, thank you. Thank you to Sheriff, Chief, everybody that's had a part in it. We appreciate it. The support after the fact for us has been great. And to this day, they still offer that support, and it's something we'll never forget. Going forward, we're still working through it, and I hope that once we get us a new office and we get settled back in, it's something we can look back on and be proud of. We should all feel proud. We all played a role, very important role, not only to each other, but to the community. So we thank you. Also, I'd like to recognize the guys that are here today. Like I said, a few of these guys were in the office the day it happened, so that they had it was direct impact on them. And but they fought through, and they put themselves aside and put others first. And their actions that day are greatly appreciated by myself and everyone. You got Trooper Nick Krause, Trooper Brian Freitas, Trooper Eric Cisneros. And also in the building that day was our administrative assistant, Ashley Hartnett. She was slightly injured that day, but she too was affected, but she's pulled through and has been, we call her the mother hen of our office. She's kind of kept us all together through text message, phone calls, and emails, and I'd like to thank her as well.
Okay, next on, Washington County 911 Department, Director Robin Hood.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be very brief, but this means a lot. People often forget that none of these people know where to go in an emergency if we don't answer the phone. So with me today is Jason Aronson, if you'll stand up. He was the operations supervisor on duty at the time, kind of the field general. Next to him, Nathan Aronson, his son, also on the floor working the radio. And Kiera, if you could stand up. Kiera Sanders there working the radio in 911. And Shannon, the ops manager, Shannon Selden, kind of hoping to keep it all together. We had 2 who could not make it today. Jared Hartfield and Caleb Brown. So they will be very appreciative of this also. But thank you very much.
Okay, next is the Washington County Constables. Again, Holly, Constable Holly.
I'm Constable Ken Holly, Precinct 1. We have in the bag back here hiding in the corner. It's my Chief Deputy, William Shepherd, Precinct 3 Constable Smith, and Darius. Sorry, I'm not much of a public speaker, but that day of the tragedy, I was at the house with my wife, and we were fixing to go to College Station shopping. And I got an admin text, and I turned on my radio, and I started hearing chatter. And I've been in law enforcement since '96, and we tend to get that gut feeling. And that gut feeling, I told my wife, I said, I got to go. So that's what we did. And when we got there, it was a tragedy. And things that in law enforcement and first responders, you can't unsee. We see them. But I'd like to thank, again, everybody who showed up. That truly says a lot about law enforcement, first responders in Washington County. And it truly is Washington County United. So I'd like to thank y'all.
Okay, and then we have Washington County Office of Emergency Management, Brian Rimke.
So I'm not much for public speaking either, but most days I'm a department of one, but on instances like this, everybody's in my department because my job is to support these first responders and whatever they need. So that's what I try to do every day, and I'm really proud to be a part of this whole group, this public safety group that we have here in Washington County, because it's great, great people. Thank you.
I think we need to give all these folks a standing round of applause. And as it was stated, Washington County United. Very simply said, very simply put, but has a lot of meaning. And we appreciate all of y'all being here and what you do for us. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can, no, I thought you'd want to stay and do the rest of the court. No, anybody's, that's the portion of our program is done.
You can see. All right, Judge, thank you. Very nice.
Thank you. Okay. Item number 4 on our agenda, presentation of the Washington County Historical Commission Distinguished Service Award for 2023 year of service. Dear Judge Sternberger, we are pleased to announce the Washington County Historical Commission has earned a Distinguished Service Award for their outstanding work in 2023. This award is given to recognize exceptional performance as determined by statewide assessment of annual reporting, highlighting the above-average contributions of your commission. To celebrate this achievement, we encourage you to publicly acknowledge this award at your earliest convenience. In doing so, you not only recognize your commission's hard work, but also highlight their civic impact, promoting a positive image of county government. The promotional suggestions included in the attached flyer offer great ideas for showcasing this accomplishment. So, who's going to represent this group, Mr. Stevens?
Judge, may I ask all the members of the Historical Commission to join me here?
Sure. Absolutely.
All these folks love Texas history. This is their award. I was only the cheerleader. What a privilege it is to work with people like this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank her.
Thank you, Candace. Thank you so much for your help.
Item number 5, discuss and possibly act upon going out for bids for HVAC system for the Washington County Sales Facility Building. Bids are due at 10 a.m. June 21st, 2024, and awarded on June 25th, 2024, at 9 a.m.
Judge, Commissioners, good morning. Wow, that was amazing, those awards. I got to say that real quick. As you were giving them out, I was looking at the people's faces, and you could tell they were really proud. So what we did here today was a good thing. Anyways, I'm here to request permission to go out for sealed bids for the Expo Sales Facility. I think you have a list of the equipment that we're looking for. We have spent the last 3 months hard, myself and Mr. Williams, trying to find the right system for the right cost that will not only suit that building, get it done by fair, and carry us into the future further expansion if we need to. So I'm asking for permission to do that, and I'm here to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions.
The documents speak for themselves.
Right.
So I make a motion to go out for bids for HVAC system for the Washington County Sales Facility. Bids are due at 10 a.m. on June 21st, 2024, and awarded on June 25th, 2024.
9 a.m. Put tag 9 a.m. to your motion.
Oh, the agenda says 10, so
No.
we want it for 9?
No, they're due. They'll be awarded June 25th, 9 a.m. The last thing.
Oh, okay, June 25th at 9 a.m. Okay. I'm in the motion to
A
be 9
second.
a.m.
Okay. Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, presentation of the Washington County Engineering Development Services Quarterly Report. Mr. Schultz?
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. All right, this is our second quarter report for the Engineering and Development Services Department. Love to have our beautiful screens up. I've gotten accustomed to them, but hey, we'll power through. Okay, so just go ahead and starting off. For quarter 2, we have 482 work orders that have been updated. Obviously, that is a tremendous increase, mainly due to the storms that we've seen over the past few months. OSSF update, we have 116 that have been issued to date. 133 were issued up to this point in 2023, so a slight downturn in OSSFs, but continuing on. We do have our OSSF order in place for review, so that's actually in the county attorney's office for review, and we're actually working with TCEQ for some language in their review as well. We're going through our conversations and making sure that everything's in place to get that issued this year. We talked about that tire policy for removal and disposal. One of the things we looked at was actually going to be moving to Anderson. We actually found a even better option. So we are actually disposing all of our tires through Liberty Tire Recycling. So in place of the entire trailer full of tires that have been disposed of on the side of the roads, typically that would cost us $1,226 for those tires, 105 of them. We actually were able to dispose of them for $334. So quite a big savings. I would say we typically get about 2 of those trailer loads a year, so it's going to be about $1,600, $1,700 a year in savings. Our addresses that we've issued up to this point, we are at 156 to date. In 2023 up to this point, we were at 157, so pretty similar to what we had seen last year. Subdivision status changes. Bluebonnet Ridge, we had the roads accepted. Porch Swing Plantation was approved. Washington Heights went into the maintenance phase. Sandy Hill Estates was approved. Hill Creek Ridge Section 1 went into the maintenance phase. Palestine Estates was approved. Bluebonnet Ridge replat was approved. Bluebonnet Hills replat was approved. and we recently accepted the Century Farms at Chapel Hill roadways into our maintenance. Base purchases for the year. So we are at 19,863 tons that we have procured. We have installed 14,000 tons to date. We had talked a little bit about the crushed concrete. That's the local vendor. And that's actually been panning out really well. It's been setting up extremely well. We've already paved over some of this. It's really looking very, very, very promising for the future if everything continues as we've seen. Just making that switch to that material with what we've had up to date, we're at a cost savings of $26,175 just on the material cost. That is excluding the mileage of driving and actually picking that material up, which at this point would be about 800 miles on these large trucks and accounting for about $3,750 just in fuel costs. So that's actually been a very big savings for us. And if we anticipate, or if we are able to utilize as much as we are anticipating to use, it will save approximately $184,000 throughout the whole year. So this is definitely a big change for us and very promising for the future. Let's see here. I'd
just like to say I appreciate you guys looking into those things, because one of the ways we lowered the cost to our constituency is looking at our budgets and in a way to save money. And you guys have done that quite a bit. And it needs to be recognized. It needs to be known that in county government, we have a department that's doing that. Because that is how we can do other things. That $100,000 can then go into maybe paving, maybe some other part or function of the department. So I want to. It shouldn't be something we just say as an offside comment in this report. It needs to be duly noted. So thank you.
I appreciate that, and that is something that we've talked about quite routinely. Is one of the big things that I don't ever like to hear is that's the way we've always done it. I hate that phrase. Look, we should always be looking to improve. We should always look to do something different, better. And look, sometimes that's not going to work out. Sometimes it will. This looks like this is going to be a huge winner for us. Great. Let's look for the next thing to figure out the next big winner. But we are always constantly looking to make changes for the better. So in terms of our topping rock for the chip seal for this year, we have procured all of our topping rock. I know that was a bit of a concern for us for going into the new paving season, is being able to procure that materials. In past years with other jurisdictions, that's been something that has been brought forward to us, has been a possibility of an issue of getting that material. The good thing is we have all of our material procured for the year, and it's actually been laying down fantastic. I'll get to that in a minute. Our recycled asphalt pavement material, which we received through TxDOT through the Local Government Assistance Program, which we received about 2,100 cubic yards. We have laid 70% of that for the year. We have a couple more that we have to put out, but we are wrapping that one up to be done to move on to the next year. Into the 2024 paving progress, we have seen tremendous benefits. Up to this point, we've paved a few roads. We have about 5 miles actually just about ready to pave. We've had those ready to pave all before the storm hit, so I know some of our guys are extremely antsy to get moving on that and get that sucker surfaced and move on to the next one. But I will say that we have some examples here of some of the work that we've already put down. I've told you before that some of our guys are not so happy about these samples because we have to go cut them out, and it pushed out. That and we do possible and as much of it as we possibly can at the most affordable price. So I do just want to just let you see what your money is getting you. So let's see here. Driveway culvert installations. We have installed 55 to date. We are on track for 132 for the year. In 2023, we installed 104, and 2022, we installed 111. Something else of note is the equipment cover, which we have already awarded that contract. The notice to proceed is in place, and they should be starting this week, hopefully. I know they've been a little bit busy as well with the storms. This particular vendor does a lot of work for buildings, right? One of the big problems that I think everyone's had with the storms is a lot of tornado damage, and we also take note of that. we're not gonna say, hey, look, you can't go fix this person's house because you gotta get the equipment shed up. It's all about priority and community. So we're kind of taking that in note, but at the same time, we are set to start very, very soon. We have the pad completed and ready for construction as soon as they get
Well,
it to
and
us.
we ask that of our constituents as well, because you and I have had the discussion about some of these dead trees that we had on the list for some folks to have them removed, and due to the storm, some of those have been pushed back. So we have to ask for understanding as well in our situation. So we definitely need to afford that to those folks who are working for us.
Absolutely.
Particularly,
Big picture.
they're headquartered in Belleville, and that little community, so two major storms.
The hailstorm was tremendous.
So-
That is
so-
true. That is
so
true.
we gotta cut them a little slack.
Yes. We're not trying to be jerks on this one. We also really want to get this project done, so we're trying to find a good happy medium in there.
Well, and our neighbors wanted them too. So.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, miscellaneous projects that we are working on. We kind of talked a little bit about the software for permitting and workflow, that we have a very viable candidate. At the same time, we'll give a very detailed presentation into budget, which will be coming up in the next couple months. We've had some preliminary meetings to discuss that, and once again, I think it's very promising. Maybe not just even for our department, for maybe multiple departments, so we'll get into that one. Let's see here. We have been working with landowners across the county. One of the big things that we've noted with the significant storm events for the year is that it's really come to light, especially in my term here, because I've only been here for about 2.5 years now, and we really haven't seen these level of storms in my tenure, that these are the real areas that we've got to focus on. So we've been working with landowners. Some of these cannot be completed within the right-of-way that we have available. We're working with landowners for easement acquisition, drainage agreements, et cetera, to make sure that we have a viable solution whenever we come forward with our projects, not only for ourselves, but our community. So we're going to be bringing more of those to you as these negotiations continue. But at this point, we have not had any costs for that. All of these have been dedicated and donated, so there's no cost associated with those.
Well, and it benefits those landowners as well if we're able to fix the flow.
And that's been the entire negotiation side of this, is going to be, yes, we're going to be doing some work on your property, but this benefits the county road tremendously, and that means it's going to benefit you as well. It's one of those things where we've got to work together, and so far those have been pretty promising, The fleet management planning and budget proposals that we've been working on, we have some proposals for how we're going to address that. Commissioner Bullock and the department have been going through quite a few different options for this, and once again, we're going to be going in budget for a detailed proposal on how we'll address that for the future. The in-house shredding is underway. We've been shredding our in-house. We've kind of started a little bit on the north side of Brenham, and then we're kind of shifting ourselves around to the west. What we're trying to do is the vast majority of our landowners are towards closer to Brenham. That's the vast majority of our concentration of landowners. So we're trying to get as many people with the same amount of mileage. So we're kind of trying to get those along the Brenham side, outskirts, and then kind of move out from there. So right now we are moving on that one. The contract shredding, they were anticipated to start last week, but with the storms, they were pushed back a little bit. So we're actually looking to start on this next week. Next Tuesday is what they've given me. So they're actually very, very quick, just given the fact they work through at the weekends, they work at nights, just because they have a tremendous amount of work. I think right now they're in Grimes County doing a lot of their precincts over there. Let's see here. The oil and gas permits for the year. We've had one in Precinct 3 that was off of State Road, and we've had one in Precinct 4 off of Sandstone Road that was recently come through. But one thing just to note is that we're approaching midpoint of the year, and we've only had two. So one thing just to what we've seen on our end is that there has not been a exorbitant amount of development in that regard over the past year comparatively to 2022 and 2023. I'm not exactly an expert in terms of what that means, or if that's any kind of consolidation of regional or just local, but we've only had two new at this point. The bridge advanced funding agreements. These are the new bridges that we are working with on the state. We have 5 that are proposed, 3 of which have 95% design. We have been working diligently with the landowners because we do have right-of-way and easement acquisition with each of them. We have received the survey for the Mockamel Road Bridge on Monday, so yesterday. And then we received the surveys needed for the acquisition for the one on Durking on last Friday. So we're just waiting on the Bossy Road, and then we just have to get these signed. Everything up to this point is verbal, but we have agreed on no-cost easement and right-of-way acquisitions for each and every one of these with the landowners. But until everything's signed, well, I'll bring it to you. So be expecting that over the next couple of weeks.
Do you have a list of the bridges that still have to be done?
So we have these 5 that we are going to be doing. We have 2 that we're looking at for repairs with TxDOT during the structural analysis. But yes, I do have that list. I can send it over.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, sir.
Just be interesting to see how many we still have to replace. You know, we used to have like a list that they sent us with the replacement of those, and then it would show us how many are still needing to be replaced.
Absolutely. And we actually have a condition assessment on all of those from the structural analysis. We've got them in order for priority down to really, really good condition. And that's something that we analyze and take a look and say, okay, which one is our next one that we need to work on, as well as with TxDOT, whenever they do their structural analysis. We actually are broaching the subject of possible additional advanced funding agreements for some options. But one of the things that's been conveyed to us is that, at least in terms of the division they work in, Washington County does have a very good bridge condition assessment overall for the county. Obviously, we've got a couple that we just are always going to need to repair, always going to need to be working on. But these 5 are going to be the ones that I think are the only critical ones at this point. Now, keep in mind, we have been doing quite a bit of bridge work to keep them off of TxDOT records, just given all the floods that have been taking place. We've been doing a significant amount of structural work on these. So we're trying to keep them off of that list and try and extend the lifespan on these as much as possible so we're not having to replace them before their lifespan truly ends. But I can get that list to you. I've got all ready to go.
Yeah, I'm most concerned about the one at Rayburg that you and I have discussed about.
Oh, okay, so that
one.
low water crossing
Yeah.
over there? So yes, that one is on our list this year. That one's actually not under the bridge classification,
know.
but that one is on our list this year. That one, as well as the Wonder Hill one and the Willow Springs, excuse me. So that's going to be a 3-part project, and the only reason we're kind of combining those all at one time is that with that. The EMPs, that's essentially the county contribution projects, because we didn't no financial cost, so no dollar amount that would go back for you, which is the case. We anticipated it in June. I just do the ones I'm hoping that we can take care of these. I think we'll get the summer months whenever things dry up. 2022 CDBG project, which is the Myersville project. I was hoping we'd have the screen up so I could show that beautiful picture, which is actually 3 days after the storm event, after the last rainstorm actually took place on Myersville. I just thought it would be good to add. But that's the New Year's Creek crossing of Myersville, and we still have that money slotted for us. We're still working through some RFIs with the GLO. I think we've come to a pretty good understanding of what we need to do here. There's just a lot of the bureaucracy and red tape that we've got to work through, but I think we've got an avenue to go forward. We just have to get it knocked out through our grant administrator and GLO. So that looks promising to hopefully get knocked out sooner rather than later. This has gone on a little bit longer than I would have wanted. Okay, and that leads me to the storm damage that we've had for this year. It's very unprecedented that we would have 3 severe weather disaster declarations for 1 year. One in January, one in April, and now one in May. The one in January was obviously flooding events and freeze. which we powered through. We got those taken care of and we moved forward. The one in April, we powered through that and we kind of knocked them all out. We're still working on the one in May. Now, this last one in May, there was significant tornadoes, there was a significant amount of debris and structural damage, and mainly from our end, a lot of road closures. That night of the 16th was extremely tremendous from our standpoint. We had an unbelievable amount of roads closed, debris on roadways, power lines down. It was extreme. I think that's the best word to describe it. With that said, I do want to kind of give a couple acknowledgments, because one of the things that we did is we had those roads opened up to a significant amount comparably to after the damage in a tremendously short amount of time. And I think that we did a hell of a job. Now, that said, one of the things that I noticed this morning is we talked a lot about community. We talked about uniting with other departments. We talked about uniting with other jurisdictions, whether it be municipality, et cetera. That morning was that night was a very good example of that. Whenever the emergency coordination took place, E911 was fantastic. The fire departments were fantastic. Brenham Police, Sheriff's Department, everybody came together. All of the landowners were mobilized. As we were out there working on these, landowners were out working on this. TDEM, OEM, Troy Keller, everybody really came together in this event, which was drastic. And we got these things open. So I'd really just kind of want to acknowledge, number one, all of the departments involved with that, which I just listed, as well as the Forestry Service, which was working with TDEM, which was fantastic. They came out and were helping us cut up these things. Fire departments all through the night cutting up these trees. It was great. And then I also really want to acknowledge some of our employees. One of the things is all of our employees have been doing an exceptional job, right? Exceptional. I am beyond proud to this department. I'm proud of the guys I work with. But I brought a few of our guys here today just to be exceptional view of what has been accomplished over that time period, and especially that night. So if you wouldn't mind standing, Justin Brending, Matthew Berger, Chandler Burns, Michael Coring, Shane Raska, and Kurt Reimer. Doesn't look like he can be here today, but I just want to really acknowledge these guys right here. That night, we had worked the whole day. We had guys that worked all through the night to 3 in the morning, and then got back up and went straight back at it at 8 o'clock that next morning. 20-hour work week, or 20-hour day, and went straight back at it first thing in the morning. I am proud to be part of this community, and I'm very proud of these guys right here. Thank you guys very much. You're doing an amazing job. He had Birth by Fire with the on-call. That was his first on-call, and it was a hell of a one to start with. You did a fantastic job, sir. Appreciate you. We have hauled 326,000 pounds of debris off the roads. 326,000 pounds over these past 2 weeks. And I just want to say, fantastic job, guys. I'm very proud of y'all. I'm proud to work here. It's been great. So, with that in mind, that kind of concludes the report. Is there any questions I might be able to assist with?
So are you almost complete with all the debris? Because in looking at these numbers, there's quite a bit.
Oh, there is significant still out there. Okay. Absolutely.
I kind of thought you probably had more to do.
Oh, absolutely.
I know in Precinct 3 there is. I just didn't know if there was others. But,
no, we still have a lot to do yet. That's the thing, is we've been going nonstop. We've shut down our paving operations for a time. We shut down our shredding operations. We shut down motor grading operations, except the essential areas. And that's just the magnitude of the damage that took place with this.
I'll also say that we've also had a lot of trees going down after the storm, just with the additional rains that we've had. Our main focus is we've had to pull away from picking up some of the debris to go get the roads open, make sure the roads were open. So we've kind of been behind on picking up as we want to, just to try to make sure that the citizens can still be around.
And that was our priority. First priority is get people home, get emergency responders to these locations and have these roads open. The second was to actually fully open the roads, because that night it was just a matter of, hey, can we get a car through? The second was just to get the roads completely open with 2 lanes, and now we're actually hauling all the debris over the last week and a half. So, yes, we still have a lot of limbs out there. We still have a lot of areas to address, but we've been making a hell of a lot of progress. And once again, it's been going very well.
Well, and I will tell you that I can't speak for the other precincts, but in Precinct 3, there has been nothing but good comments about all of that work. So your work did not go unnoticed. And I appreciate you bringing them here today so they can hear that straight from me, because I'm getting those phone calls. And a lot of times you guys get we get phone calls that you guys aren't doing what they want them to do. And sometimes there's things that we can't do for them. And folks just don't understand that. So I appreciate the fact that you guys are here today, and I also appreciate the fact of all the work you've done. It's really reflective of who we are as a community and a county. So thank you so much for what y'all have done in this situation.
Exceptional job. Yeah, he's absolutely exceptional.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 7, discuss and possibly act upon the approval to appoint John Chancellor, the Glen Police Chief, Donna Damon, Adult Probation Director, Mark Pennybacher, Washington County Citizens on Patrol, Trey Holloway, Washington County Sheriff-elect, Ken Holly, Washington County Constable, Precinct 1, Scott Atwood, Washington County Citizen, Bob Funk, Washington County Citizen, Joe Romo, Washington County Citizen, and Justin Knuppel, Washington County EMS, to the Brazos Valley Council of Governments Criminal Justice Advisory Committee, and approve to remove the following representatives: Dr. Edna Kennedy, former Burton ISD Superintendent, Reverend Randy Wells from Faith Mission, and Mark Wooden, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Little explanation necessary here. There were 5 members of that. John Chancellor and Donna Damon had served previously, but the other 3 that were being removed, which they're aware of, could no longer serve. And so we were at a real disadvantage on this committee, and I'll let Ms. Damon, oh, there you are. Would you explain a little bit better about this committee and why it's so important that we are represented fairly and equally with these other counties?
The 7 counties that are in the Brazos Valley. And when anybody from Washington County applies for a grant in law enforcement, or recently actually Focusing Families, who helps with matter intervention programs and victims of domestic violence, when they apply, there's not enough voices from Washington County to represent our county. And sometimes we don't get grants if we apply for some. And I would hope that the county juvenile, the law enforcement would try to apply for grants, and now we have a better voice if we have more members.
Right. I could pass this around, but you can just see all these other counties and how many members they have. You can have as many as you want. And we were down to 5 appointed, but 3 of them could no longer serve. So we had 2 voting members when it came to scoring grants. I think the other counties are going to outvote us. So it's just one of those things. So we needed to do something about that. So anyway, all these people have agreed to serve on this committee.
Well, I make a motion to approve to appoint John Chancellor, Glen Police Chief, Donna Damon, Adult Probation Director, Mark Pennybacher, Washington County Citizen on Patrol, Trey Holloway, Washington County Sheriff-elect, Ken Holly, Washington County Constable, Precinct 1, Scott Atwood, Washington County Citizen, Bob Funk, Washington County Citizen, Joel Romo, Washington County Citizen, and Justin Knuppel, Washington County EMS, and to remove the following representatives: Dr. Edna Kennedy, former Burton ISD Superintendent, Reverend Randy Wells, Faith Mission, and Mark Wooden, Washington County Sheriff's Office.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Damon. Item number 8, discuss and possibly act on the approval of jail medical staff job descriptions and positions. Chief?
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. As you're aware, I've been working diligently with HR to come up with 6 positions that are going to be vacated once our current medical contract is null and void on July 1st. We have those 6 positions, the descriptions along with pay rate ranges for you guys to look over. We've already looked over and approved it. We're just waiting for you guys now.
So, this is more of a question for HR. We do have a hard deadline with these employees. We have to go out for these jobs. Are we, after today, they will be posted? Once we approve these today, you'll post them. When is your estimated time for closing the application?
Yeah, it needs to run
Through the weekend? So we're basically running it for 1 week? Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that we are all aware of the fact that we do have a hard deadline. I know y'all know that, but I don't think everyone knows that we only have a 30-day window to
Less
make.
than at this point.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's less than that. So I just wanted to make sure, because in trying to hire these folks and get them on board, it may be difficult, but I think it's necessary for us to do this in order to continue having medical service. in that.
Absolutely, that's it.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, I wanted to thank you, Chief Hensley, and Angela and Amber, because I know we did have a really quick turnaround, and it all kind of came down upon us not even 2 weeks ago, so good work.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the jail medical staff job descriptions and positions.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable. Not much to it this week. Yeah, really a good one.
Okay, today we will be paying $217,394.14. Gladly buying a vehicle for Constable 3, Darius Smith. Yeah. The rest of them, regular bills.
I'll move upon the approval of accounts payable.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10. At this time, we will recess our special meeting and reconvene in executive session in about 10 minutes. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll reconvene the special session, special meeting at 10:57. Item number 1, discuss and possibly act upon catch-up contributions for TCDRS. And Ms. Renee, do you want to address that?
Based on the discussion, I would recommend that you just table it until more information can be provided to you.
Okay. Do you have a motion to that effect?
I make a motion to
Table.
table the catch-up contributions to TCDRS.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.